This is FX Medicine. I'm Andrew Whitfield Cook, and I'm here sitting with Tonie Fitzgerald, who's a patient suffering from cancer, indeed metastatic cancer. Tonie, can you please take us through a little bit of your story? What happened first and how's it progressed?
Yeah, I was first diagnosed with cancer in 2012. I got a strain called HPV16, which is a deadly strain amongst the 100 strains, predominantly metagenetic. It's an epidemic around the world, and it appeared in my tonsil and in my left and right lymph nodes, carcinoma cancer, and then I had radiation chemotherapy, and then in 2015 I got the cancer back again, a nasophoric tumour here.
Yep.
And then they...
And not an insignificant tumour.
No, it was the size of a golf ball, pushed around my carotid artery and pushing up against my C1 vertebrae. And then they gave me radiation only. They couldn't give me chemo because I got one kidney, but it's a healthy kidney.
Right.
So it's just...
Is that from a separate issue?
I was born with my kidney.
Right.
But like I found that out, the first one back in 2012, they nearly stepped over it. They were going to give me very toxic chemo, which could have put me on a kidney dialysis gene for a long time. So then when I got through that radiation, then I had to wait. I had another PET scan, and it came back again in the same year, 2015. So they decided to do a full neck cystectomy right around here, 14 hours on the table, lifted it up, took all the lymph nodes out, kept very good margins, and then sewed me back up again, and then I went away. And then bring it forward to present day, January this year. I was told again via a PET scan that I've got the cancer back in my lower base of my tongue, and you can hear it because my tongue's not operating.
Yep.
And I've got the cancer in the left and right lymph nodes, around the carotid artery, across the top of the chest and underneath here. So it's progressing slowly, they said.
And what are your medical options now for treatment or recovery?
Well, when I sat there and I said, what do I do? And they said, radio's out of the question because too much radiation's happened. They said, chemo's not going to happen because your kidney. Surgery's not going to happen because we've already cut you open. Basically, go away and die.
How did that option feel for you? That must have been devastating.
It was at the time. I broke down, I cried. But being a resilient guy, I just thought, well, okay, so the only option that I understand right now is that I take the power within me to make sure that I find an alternative therapy. So I looked at, the Gerson therapy, hyperbaric chamber in Germany, stuff in America, vitamin C injection, hyperbaric oxygen chamber therapy, everything that you can, because I've got a pretty good network of holistic practitioners around me. Then lo and behold, only about a week ago, I came across the video where Dan appears on the video about his story and how Dan's law is now the law that changed the law of cannabis and introducing it into Australia. And then in the video, when they went to see Dr. Raphael Monchaloni in Israel, I just sat there in awe, and this guy was talking, and I'm thinking, this guy, some people don't like the word cure, but this guy may have the cure for me. I don't know. So 11:35 at night, I sent him an email, and the next morning I woke up and he responded. And he responded in great detail, telling me everything. I wasn't expecting him to tell me what CBD cannabinoids I should take, but he suggested which ones, and had a disclaimer on the bottom saying he's not a physician, but based on his 50 years of research, this would be good for me. And I just went, holy shit, I thought, this is unbelievable. So then I started looking at, well, what's Australia doing in this market? Where are we setting the foundations for the introduction of cannabis to heal not only Australians, but to heal collectively for all their countries around the world? And that's where the journey started. So then all of a sudden somebody sent me a Facebook post saying this symposium's on down here. So I came down to the symposium. I'm here to immerse myself in it, connect, network, and look for resources that can help me. I'm going to write a book and I'm going to do a documentary that's going to help other people. I'm a cancer sufferer, right? I'm told that I'm going to die, so I'm not accepting that. But if I can do anything to keep alive and prove that I can keep alive, by using cannabis and share that with the world, then that's where the healing starts.
A lot of medical professionals are very frustrated that they're being told that the access is there, but they don't know what products, what entities are available to be able to be prescribed. They don't know how to then progress to help people like you.
Yeah.
There seems to be this sort of, I don't know whether stonewalling is too strong, but there seems to be, let's say, a lack of progression, or let's say a slow progression with regards to the side of politics and the shenanigans or the, again, I'm probably being too strong, the snail pace at which things progress.
Yeah.
How do you feel as a patient in need now with regards to how far or how fast we're progressing with regards to access of cannabis? What do you think needs to change?
To answer that best way possible, at the moment I've got a GoFundMe crowd campaign happening, and I actually say in the description in there that I've been told that I'm going to die. So I've got to think, I need fast, immediate action. I need to respond as fast as I can. So when I look at what's available here in Australia, I've got nothing. The only thing that they produce is the immunotherapy, which costs $7,000 for every 3 weeks. And it's $200,000 for the whole 2 years I've got to stay on it. And it comes out of my back pocket. There's no reimbursements, no rebates, nothing. So that's gone. So I'm thinking, what have I got? So then I thought, well, how do I get access to cannabis? You know, especially the CB2, cannabinoid. And it's proven very, very, very difficult and very, very challenging to do so. But when I think about the process, I go, how many other people are out there, whether it's epilepsy, MS, whatever, all these conditions we're going to treat with this wonderful miracle plant that's been rediscovered again, the frustration and the angst in people that they can't get access to it fast because time is not on your side. If you're told you're going to die, you don't know whether you've got 1 week, 1 month, or a year. So it's
So taking that out from not just the sufferers of people like yourself, indeed many conditions as you've described, but also their carers, their families, the greater and greater population. Here's where it ends up. These are the voting public. How do you think this is going to swing with regards to what politicians are going to actively do rather than gonna do?
Right. Here's my
How
message.
do you think this is going to play out?
Here's my message to Australian government. I'm not putting them down or whatever. What I've seen so far looks pretty healthy, looks pretty good. But I would say, please, don't let this be another pink bat situation. Don't let this be another NBM disaster. You've got to get the framework right. And when we talk about framework, it was discussed this morning. I happened to find the Canada framework that they've been working on for years, and I spoke to a gentleman this morning who was part of that, and he said this goes back to 2001. It took them 8 years of legal work to get it through, and now they've set the task force in place, and they've produced a document which outlines this framework. I've read the document. It absolutely rocks. And I'm a great believer in if somebody does something, because my past is a success coach, come out of sex then, didn't it? A success coach. Is that you're replicating your model, what other people are doing. If they're successful at it, you replicate a model. So I've read it and I'm thinking, what's Australia going to do? Is their framework going to be like Canada? I think Canada is leading the way at the moment, at this present time. They've set it out. It's a fantastic document. And I think Australia and the Australian government, please get it right, because we need this. Humanity needs it, Australians need it, everybody needs it. So if we get this framework right in Australia, it'll set us up for the introduction of cannabis.
Quickly.
Now, expedite. That's what it's all about now. People crying out for it. Humanity is crying out for a healing treatment. And I believe this is it.
Tonie, thanks for joining us on FX Medicine today.
That's all right. It's a pleasure.